As the movie begins, we see a beautiful nurse named Gwen. She is taking care of a patient in the hospital, an old woman whose condition is very bad. The old woman is struggling to breathe. Gwen walks up to her and turns off her oxygen. Not just that, she also removes the breathing tube. Because of that, the old woman starts gasping and choking. Then Gwen suddenly screams and calls for the doctor. While the doctor rushes in and tries to save the old woman, Gwen stands at the door, smiling. At this point, we realize that Gwen is a psychopath. She enjoys seeing her patients in pain. Then she walks away from there. In the next scene, we see a house. A woman named Mira lives there happily with her husband and son. While Mira is talking to her husband, their son Max comes in and says, "Mom, my leg hurts." We understand that Max has a disease. He can't walk without support. Mira and her husband talk about Max. She tells him how scared she feels when she sees Max trying to climb the stairs by himself. Her husband reassures her, saying, "Don't worry, nothing will happen to Max." Then we see Gwen at Myra's house. Mira has hired her to look after Max. Gwen becomes like a family member in their home. Later, all four of them are having breakfast together. During breakfast, Max drops his crutches, which he needs to walk. Gwen picks them up and gives them back to him, but we realize she doesn't do anything properly. She loosens the crutch joints before giving them because she wants Max to fall while using them. Gwen does all this for her own enjoyment. Later, Myra's husband gets ready to leave for work. He stands close to Mira, and seeing them together, Gwen feels jealous because she secretly likes Myra's husband. After he leaves, Myra's friend comes over to visit. As Mira and her friend talk, Gwen pretends to play with Max, but actually listens in on their conversation. Myra's friend tells her, "You should hire a different nurse for your son, because it feels like both your husband and your son are getting too close to Gwen." Mira replies, "No, there's nothing like that, you're just overthinking." Just then, Mira hears Max's voice. He has fallen down as his crutch broke. We know this was caused by Gwen. Mira scolds Gwen harshly for Max's fall, as she believes Gwen hasn't been taking proper care of him. But then Max tells Mira, "Mom, this didn't happen because of Gwen, it was my mistake." Mira then calls the doctor and asks for a new set of crutches for Max. That night, Mira apologizes to Gwen for yelling without reason. Gwen replies, "It's not your fault. I understand. A mother always worries about her son." After that, to help Mira relax, Gwen makes her some tea. In the next scene, Mira joins a support group, a society where many children like Max are members. All of them have similar conditions. Mira speaks with them and says, "I feel really sad because my son can't play like the other kids," and she starts crying. The group members tell her, "We understand. We've also faced similar things." Later, Mira returns home. Gwen prepares tea for her again. After drinking the tea, Mira falls asleep. A little while later, the doctor arrives at the house with a new pair of crutches for Max. As the doctor is about to hand them to Max, Gwen stops her and says, "You can go, I'll give them to him." The doctor then says, "I've seen you somewhere before. Once I remember where, I promise I'll tell you," and she leaves. That same evening, Gwen goes to the doctor's house. Gwen tells her, "You were right. You do know me. I remember you too." Immediately after saying that, Gwen grabs the doctor and injects her with a drug. Here, we realize that the doctor is the same one from the beginning of the movie, the one who saved the old woman Gwen had tried to kill. Gwen is afraid that this doctor might tell Myra's husband the truth about her. So she injects the doctor with drugs and kills her. That night, Mira gets a call from a man named David. He tells her, "I'm one of the members from the society you joined about your son's disease." He then says, "My son has the same condition as yours." Hearing this, Mira becomes emotional. She wants to see a picture of David, but his profile photo is blurry, so she can't see his face clearly. David tells her, "My wife passed away, so I hired a nurse to take care of my son." Mira responds, "That's a very good thing you did." At this point, we realize that the man named David is actually Gwen. She's using a voice-changing program through a computer to talk to Mira. The next morning, Myra's friend visits her house. As soon as she arrives, she accidentally spills something on Myra's husband's shirt. Gwen offers to clean Myra's husband's shirt and takes it to the laundry. Myra's friend goes inside to grab her purse, and at that moment, she sees Gwen smelling Myra's husband's shirt. This seems very strange to her, and she starts to suspect that Gwen might have feelings for Myra's husband. However, she doesn't tell Mira about it, fearing it might create issues in Myra's family. That night, Gwen once again contacts Mira while pretending to be David. She asks Mira about Max. Mira replies, "My son is doing fine now, but the day he fell down, I felt really terrible." After talking for a while, Gwen quickly heads over to Myra's place because she wants to catch her red-handed, suspecting she might be speaking with someone else. Gwen succeeds in her plan and later tells Myra's husband, "I heard Mira talking to someone secretly." Gwen's intention is to make Myra's husband suspicious of her and leave her. But here, Gwen's plan backfires. Myra's husband supports his wife instead. He says, "Myra's been working a lot. She's not even getting enough sleep. That's why she's a bit stressed." After hearing this, Gwen hugs him and says good night before walking away. Deep down, Gwen still desires to make Myra's husband her own. The next morning, Gwen is in the kitchen with Myra's husband, always trying to stay close to him. By the time Mira wakes up, Gwen has already finished all the household chores. Just then, Mira gets a call from her friend who thanks her for remembering her birthday and sending flowers. Mira is a bit confused and surprised. She didn't send any flowers. Gwen then comes to Mira and says, "You forgot your friend's birthday, so I sent her the flowers on your behalf." Mira, while walking, suddenly feels dizzy and collapses. Gwen catches her and helps her onto the sofa. Mira then says, "I need to consult a doctor, but don't tell my husband about this." Gwen replies, "You don't need to go to the doctor. I'll take your blood sample and get it tested at the lab." That night, Gwen once again contacts Mira as David. Mira shares her worries and problems with him. Just then, Myra's husband and son return home. Seeing them, Mira quickly ends the call. She tries to take Max to his room, but due to drowsiness, she falls asleep on the sofa. Right then, Mira receives a message saying that David is a fraud. The next morning, Myra's husband comes to her and sees the message on her phone. He doesn't understand anything. He begins to wonder, who is David? And why is Mira talking to him? Later, even Max starts wondering, why is Mom sleeping so much? Meanwhile, Gwen continues doing all the household work at Myra's home. Despite that, Mira misunderstands her. So, Mira apologizes to Gwen. Gwen begins to feel that everyone really likes her. Just then, Mira receives another message saying that David is a fraud. Gwen sees the message too. Mira somehow gets ready and decides to go to the office. At work, she tells her friend, "All my blood reports came back normal." What Gwen said was true. "I just need some rest." Her friend replies, "Can I tell you something? You should consult a doctor who has nothing to do with Gwen." Just then, Mira receives an email from David saying, "The person who's sending you these messages is trying to defame me. Your son's life is in danger." After reading both emails, Mira returns home feeling very worried. She tells Gwen everything and adds, "I'm going to meet that person this evening." Myra's husband overhears this conversation and starts believing Gwen's earlier claims. He now suspects that Mira is cheating on him. The next morning, Mira goes to a cafe to meet the person. The man introduces himself, "My name is David. I've never spoken to you before." He explains, "My wife had blood cancer. One day she started getting calls from a man who told her not to visit the doctor. She listened to him and followed his instructions. That's how she died." David then shows Mira a photo of that person, and that's when the truth is revealed to her. But even now, Mira doesn't suspect Gwen. Myra's husband, who was secretly following her, sees her hugging David and assumes she's having an affair. Meanwhile, Myra's friend comes to their home to return a bag. Gwen receives the bag and is confronted. Myra's friend says, "I know you like Myra's husband. I saw you smelling his shirt that day. Stay away from Myra's family and don't cause them any trouble." Then she tries to leave, but Gwen attacks her. Gwen takes her in a car, intending to kill her. She injects her with a drug and leaves her unconscious. Then Gwen returns home. She sees Mira cooking and casually engages her in conversation. While Mira is distracted, Gwen secretly steals a knife that Mira had used to chop vegetables, a knife with Myra's fingerprints on it. She takes the knife and heads to David's house. At this point, we learn that Gwen originally worked as a nurse for David's wife. Just like she did with Mira, Gwen had disguised her voice and pretended to be someone else while speaking to David's wife. She told her not to go to the doctor or take her prescribed treatments. Eventually, Gwen kills David using the same knife she had stolen earlier. She also pours Myra's blood sample, which she had taken earlier, at the crime scene. That way, everyone would believe that Mira was the one who killed David. That night, Myra's husband comes home drunk. He's deeply upset, believing Mira betrayed him. Seeing him in that condition, Gwen tries to get close to him, but even in that state, he's still thinking about Mira. The next morning, when Mira goes to pour out the water Gwen had given her, she sees powder residue at the bottom of the bottle. She realizes Gwen has been mixing something in her water to make her drowsy. Mira then sneaks into Gwen's room and finds a book about poisonous drugs. Under the bed, she discovers multiple toxic substances. Just then, she sees Gwen returning home. As Mira opens the door, Gwen instantly realizes that Mira didn't drink the water, which means Mira has been alert all along. Gwen tries once more to give Mira the drugged water, saying, "Drink this and take some rest," and then takes Max to the hospital. Mira tries to stop her son from going, but he leaves with Gwen. After they leave, Mira enters Gwen's room again. This time, she records everything on video, all the poisons and evidence, and calls her husband, telling him the full story. Then she heads to the police station to file a complaint. But just as she is about to leave, Gwen returns. Seeing her, Gwen realizes that Mira has discovered her secret. Max is not with Gwen now, so Mira demands that she take her to him. While driving, Gwen tells Mira, "I've been working as a nurse for years. But no one ever treated me like family. You did. But don't worry, I'll kill you and take your place." Gwen wants to take Myra's place because she has feelings for Myra's husband. Meanwhile, Myra's husband arrives home. He doesn't find Mira, but he finds her phone. On the phone, he watches the video Mira recorded and finally realizes Gwen's true nature. On the other side, Gwen takes Mira back to her home. Once inside, Gwen confesses, "I killed the doctor, your friend, and David. Now I'm going to kill you." Hearing that, Mira starts worrying about Max. She frantically searches Gwen's house for her son. That's when Gwen says, "Your son is at the clinic. I only brought you here to kill you. And by the way, I killed David with a knife that has your fingerprints on it. So the police will think you committed the murder. Your husband and son will end up hating you." When Mira tries to escape, Gwen grabs her and tries to strangle her. Somehow, Mira manages to hit Gwen on the head with a bowl. Gwen gets injured and collapses unconscious. Mira quickly runs out and rushes home. In the ending scene of the movie, we see Mira, her husband, and their son Max living a happy life together once again. Gwen is punished for all the murders she committed. And that's how the movie ends. Thank you for watching our movie recap. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing for more great content. Your support means a lot to us. Have a wonderful day.